Morning, Yasura Singh speaking from Bharat, India on this day, March 17, 2021, Wednesday. My pleasure to be with you again in connection with general talks about quality, which is very important part in profession of engineering as well as general life. Qualities, qualityless life got no meaning. We know well. We know it actually. We speak that, we also understand that, and we try to do everything to achieve quality. To an extent, it is feasible in our efforts. We try to buy goods that must be quality one, and if we know certain brand or good doesn't conform to quality, we do not buy that, or we buy that at discounted prices or at sales prices. But quality is something else I'm talking of. Short term quality for short term materials, long term quality for long term materials. Goods, you may say, if you don't want to say material, you can say goods. Always I talk of this because since beginning of my career and before that, I didn't know meaning of quality, but I understood what I should get, what for I am paying, what for I should pay. It's not simple payment. Payment is made for something which is defined. And if I don't get that practically in that good I buy, I must condemn that. Maybe I'm not knowledgeable to that extent, but whatever knowledge one got, one has to apply that. A person who is selling something doesn't do any obligation on a person who buys something. There is no obligation of a seller on a purchaser, and a purchaser is no obligation on a seller. It's transaction. I am paying something and you are giving me something. You are not doing anything special for me because you are charging. It's not gift. Even if it's gift, it should be, speaker. It should speak of itself. When we say speak, this means we must have something that is reliable, that got input, that got substance in that. I always keep my topic similarly, like you can say civil field engineering. It doesn't mean it is related to civil engineering. It means that it is related to civility of people. Field engineering is of course a professional term because engineering and field engineering are both different. Engineering is a general term and field engineering is a practical term. In field, what we have to engineer, that can be in field of designs, in field of construction. In field there are methods to do something. In field there is contracts. In field there is quality system. In field there is organization. In field there is communication and coordination. And in field there is quantity and quality. And question arises, why should we be behind quality of products, or specifically speaking concrete standard material? Because concrete is generally used, included in our structures. Even if it is steel structure, concrete is used in foundations as well as it is used in its fire proof concreting if it's required. I'm just giving reference. In structural part work is concrete, and also pre-stress concrete. Of course there's concrete, high strength concrete, and I think there is no structure where concrete is not included. Maybe you may say these days new materials are coming, okay, that's fine, but still As far as anatomy of structure is concerned, strength or stress bearing capacity of structure is concerned, you can say concrete still dominates construction. It's very important part all over the world. There may be future of something else I cannot say today, this time. But when I say concrete, this means concrete term itself is solid. When somebody says there is no concrete in that, though there is no concrete material in that, but it's still concrete, means something which is very reliable, which has solidity, which has quality, which has strength, which has, you can say, properties, which has reliability coefficient, say 95% to 98%. You may say that is called concrete. Means something, there is no concrete, but we say it's concrete standard. Means concrete means solid standard, which cannot be broken, or if you want to break that, you have to apply lot effort on that. That's what I say about quality. Quality is not something you can define or I can define. It defines itself. If it gets into that property of quality. Quality, when I say quality, means real quality. How can you differentiate it? That is with everybody to define. It cannot be done in seconds, or even if you say this is quality product, it doesn't mean it is quality product, because you have been told by someone this is quality product, and trusting on that assurance, you accept that this is a product of quality. But is it worth, or is it really quality product? That you have to make sure. And there are many ways to make sure. You can, you may. I'm not going to that detail because every product has its own testing arrangement, which are called quality controls. But in general understanding, every product has quality dependence. Unfortunately, those products which are not expensive in comparison to structure, we think of them a lot from quality aspect. Minimum expenditure product, you think, oh, it's no quality or it's quality. Again, I say, you go to market and buy small vegetable or food product or something else. You sometimes try to read its packing or what contents are in there. Generally happens. You want to buy toothpaste, you want to buy shaving cream, you want to buy something else, you want to see its contents. Though you understand nothing out of that, but you want to see, oh, it contains this, it contains this, it contains this, so okay, fine. Vegetable, you can see, oh, it's fresh, it's not fresh, oh, this is not fresh, I don't want to buy this, or reduces price. Or you want to buy shoes, and you want to buy something else, which shall stay with you for a couple of years, or a couple of months, or a couple of days, something that is vegetable which I consume every day. Some biscuits, you see its quality or contents of biscuits do, and you use them a couple of days, a couple of weeks. Those items, those articles, those goods, you care for quality. It's good, it's appreciable. You want to buy scooter, motorcycle, you want to buy some home decoration items, you want to buy something for your wearings, your shirts, your pants, your other items. You want to see cloth quality, you want to see this, which cloth it is good for summer or for that. You all do that. That is very general. I'm not going to dispute with that. There is no meaning of that. But my question is, you want to buy a car which costs many lakhs or say million or few million, which is going to stay you for 5 to 10 years maximum. You are spending a lot of money, think on that. You have 10 lakhs, 15 lakhs, 2 million, 3 million on that, 4 million, 5 million. It's a big car, very expensive car. And you feel proud of, oh, I have this car, BMW, I have Mercedes, I have this. And you feel, oh, I'm a big man, people look at me, what a person is he, I have to pay, you can say lacks in service, maintenance service. And you feel very high profile, or people, oh, see this person, owner of Mercedes or owner of BMW, and you get that one. You do not know how this car was manufactured, you don't know anything about that, but you bought that, trusting that that's a professional company, that manufacturer is professional, and of course they have designed everything, that's why car works. No, there's no fact to deny that, because it's living item, it works. So there must be quality, but what sort of quality is that? Everything you also don't know. There have been cases due to environmental problem, cars have been withdrawn, and lakhs of cars have been withdrawn for that purpose. Everybody knows that. BMW is no separate. I try to explain, means when you buy car, it's up to car, it's okay. You can't buy train, you can't buy flight, you can't buy aeroplane. It's far away from our discussion. But when we are going to talk about structures, houses, or flats, or apartments, or bungalows, or being a very poor person buy very small, you can say very small 35 square to 50 square meter house, or something like that, from promoter, from builder, from somewhere else, or even if we want to construct ourselves. Are we that much oriented from quality viewpoint? That's my question. We want to build house or build building. So how I should have a building so that I have a roof on my head. And you are ready to spend many millions on that. Or you want to buy something built based on advertisement or by promoters' announcement. You as a general person can buy that, and you actually buy that. You pay advances for booking and you book it for years, you wait. Then it doesn't come out and you don't know what was there in that, what was procedure, what was specification, what was the drawing, design, everything. You believe in that, okay, promoter has done it, it must be something like that. When it's for something unknown, you are paying for something unknown, you do not know what is design, what theory is there. Okay, you can't understand theory, it's agreed. But at least, just like you can't understand car design, you can't understand that design also. There you trust because car is working, car works. But there's no guarantee for building. They say, okay, I'm responsible. What responsibility? When you die, your building collapses or something else happens, to die. But I think I have to give it on rent, no problem. I'll dispose of in the meantime. That is, logical argument you have, but I say it's illogical argument. Because somebody has to occupy that one. It may be you, it may be someone else. It's to be occupied, and risk of life, value of risk of life of that person is equivalent to yourself. You can't escape that responsibility, but because you have money, you have to invest that some years, so you don't care for that. Whoever shall be affected, it's none of your business to think, but ultimately a kind of sin you are committing. Because you are paying something, and you must get back that value. You are getting value in terms of materials, you get value in terms of cover area, you get in terms of finishes. But about structures, which is very, very important part, only important part in buildings, and which may be that promoter least bothers, because that person is not interested in good structure, that person is interested in good sale, good profit. Even though there are laws, but laws are also not perfect. This is what engineering input you take, that depends upon that. What level of dedication, what level of devotion engineers work. Because engineers are also money-minded nowadays, and of course promoters do. So you have to think that way when you are spending crores or many, or multiple millions, and you least bother about, I feel happy, I got my flat, I got my house, I will take possession of and do this also. So more than that you do not know. Means for structure you don't think. For engine of car, structure of design of car, structural design of car, and structural design of flight or plane, structural design of building, I think both stand in same queue. You do not know, but you pay money. That's my point of view. What's your quality approach? What's quality approach of ourselves? Okay, as an engineer, I understand. Others also understand. But as common person without engineering knowledge, what value do we give to quality? That's a question mark. Quality doesn't mean only checking something. Quality means knowing something. Means common sense says how building is going to. People say, see, that building has been there for 50 years. Okay, it can be there for 50 years. It doesn't mean that building is right. It doesn't mean that building is quality building. It has been there for 40 years. How it has been built, how it has been taken care of, it all depends. So when you buy something, you have a right to know about that. You are not going to buy something in charity or free, that you take risk of, okay, it's free, it's a gift to me. Even if it's a gift to me, somebody spent on that. Some society or some nation spent on that. So it's question of you have to remain safe in that. You can't expect that will be a graveyard for you for future. That's what I'm saying. Irrespective of who spends money, life is yours, risk is yours. So how far quality works, how far design is quality based, how far design is accurate, and to what extent it shall be constructible and prosecuted correctly. That's a major point of concern we should have. Existing building doesn't mean it has been done according to what it was intended for, and what methods, what specifications, what technicalities were required to be infilled in that. It doesn't mean that it has been so. So point of concern is, what should we do? Shall we stop thinking, or shall we think? Job of every person is thinking, but every person cannot think. That's also true. It depends upon capability of a person. Like engineer is supposed to think for everything. Every engineer thinks. That's also a question mark. Just like every medico has a duty to think. Does medico think? That's also a job. And it's for every professional. Original professional, I'm not talking professionals who are in relation, like advocates, judges and others who do not do original job, but they work on something which has already been done. But as far as engineering is concerned, medical science is concerned, such professions which directly impact on human life, these are called original activities which cannot be done by others directly. People can work on them, but these people, these engineers and doctors, they work on original basis. Engineer starts work from complete scratch, and same thing, doctor starts from testing body, organs, and then decides what to do. So that decision is very imperative and significant. You have to understand that fact. Job of engineer, that way you can say, starts from nothing. It starts from zero or minus, and then there is lot travel in that to reach to destiny, and which includes complete thinking. When somebody asks me or I think so, I say job of engineer is to think. Think in all directions, think in all spheres, think wherever others stop thinking. Engineer has to start thinking from a point where all others stop thinking. And thinking is intellectualism, thinking is engineering, thinking is doing, thinking is conception, and thinking is what you can't define. Though it's small word, what has got immense meaning in whatever language you think. Sochna in our language Hindi, and you have to do it. That's what engineering doesn't mean you have academic qualification. That is first requirement, but that is requirement to move. Ultimately, common sense and power of thinking. These lead every qualified person to further and further and further. So my viewpoint is not philosophical. My viewpoint is very general. Very general in the sense that quality cannot be defined in papers. It has to be in your soul. It has to be in your thoughts, contemplations. Quality exists in your mind. Quality exists in your working approach. Quality exists in your rationalism. Quality exists in your working, in your environment, and in your unit of thought, unit of working. How do you want to work? You want to move with quality, or you just want to push like stupid person or layman, or lay person you can say. You want to move in that direction just to prove that I have done so much and this I am efficient. And I again claim efficiency without quality is kachra, is rubbish. I cannot consider only quantity if quality absents. Absence of quality means this is all useless. I can't approve that product which has got no quality. This is like, natural sand, natural rocks in where we cannot know, we don't know what quality those rocks are and how we can rely upon them until we convert them to aggregates and use them. That's what I say. Quality is too significant in life of everybody, and we say this person is a quality person, this machine is quality machine, this theory is quality theory, and this work is quality work. But that too is not unlimited application. We have to define that quality first. If you say this person has so much power, this person can do this, and this person is, you can say CV of a person, curriculum vitae, or that curriculum vitae defines a person. What sort of person is that? And we have to then see that person, meet that person, examine that person, interview that person, or interact with that person. We get, okay, this is whatever CV is defined, this person has that capacity or doesn't have that capacity, based on which we say, okay, this is a proven record or this is just the written record. Both are different. It's a proven and that person responds to accordingly. We can say person is fine, he's not lied on a statement, and we can rely on that statement. But if we say no, this is written as something else, the person hasn't that caliber, so we can say this is a fake person, fake quality, fake CV. And like it applies for certification also. You got certifications for academics, and what levels of knowledge you have, it depends. We cannot criticize everything, but when you examine, you are examining to pass, it's from 45 to 100%. Where do you vary? Means you are only 50, means you can be trained, but that's true, you can't be labeled directly. But if you are self-leading, so self-approach, self-thinking, maybe at the time of education you did not have that capacity, but you develop later on. That means say, okay, fine, he's having this quality, so I understand, so now he can move further. I've seen many such persons in my life who declared, who got themselves, I am gold medalist, I am silver medalist, and when they walk in field, they are not even found stone medalists, forget silver, gold. They go to sand medalists, no, they don't sand medal even in the approach. And also seen those persons who were not very well marked in examination. Due to whatever reasons, I am not saying they were not intelligent, sometimes our circumstances do not allow you to get that much because of shortage of money or whatever. And later on you have initiative, you are determined to move in life if you are given an opportunity, and that can take you to highest powers because you have a thinking capacity which you cannot use their education time, because of all those reasons. So you are a quality person, but your quality could not be used at the time you are studying him. That's why I say quality and relation to that method. Method, when I say method, whatever method, you have to apply, you have to use some method in life, and that method is very important. That method should start from thinking and go to end product. That's called method. Means you can define method itself. This is a kind of contemplation, a kind of contemplation stage. What you want to do? Its method means you have to define where do you start and where do you end and what lies in between these 2 points, and that should reach to end point automatically. That's what method is. Method in every field there's method, in manufacturing, in industry, in social systems, in shops, marketing, business, organization, management, engineering, medical, and whatever else methods. You can see in law, even in courts, they say there's technique, there's a method, there's a process. Since method is very general term, you may call it method or procedure, it's up to you. Both have same meaning. Method is more important because it's understood well. Means it involves your mental capacity. M stands for mind, E stands for engineering, T stands for technique, you may say teaching, H stands for higher values, high ups, O stands for origin, and D stands for destiny. You may call whatever way. I'm just trying to explain to you something. It doesn't mean this method spelling is that or these indications are that, just trying to remember something. But after all, it's mind that works there in method. Mind says something, and you know power of mind. Mind works very well, very fast. Highest speed with highest mind can works, and that speed we have to use in our works, which ones are produced or in material terms they are produced. They can't have that speed, but the speed with which my mind works, that can help me. And as fast mind it is, memory is also short. Your mind is very fast, means you can't recall immediately. That's a problem there, because those minds are very active, extremely active, you can say. Those minds are of course good, it's not bad, but sometimes there's a problem with those minds, that these minds lose something. Of course that is settled somewhere in other parts of mind, but you remember, you recall that later on. So what I say, method is your own, means your contemplation, your thoughts are brought into a written statement or a spoken statement, and that's called method statement. And method statement is, you can say, when method statement is base of working, I should say method statements are base of quality working, and that's why I can combine, you can say, quality and method. Don't confuse with quality method. I'm not talking of quality method, I'm talking quality and methods. Method, if it is related to quality, it shall certainly come to an end with quality product, and if quality is not linked to method, method is independent of quality, that method is a scrap, I can say. There can be no method which we can say this is qualityless. If you define something which is not based on quality, then your method is no method. Even if you grind your wheat into flour, there should be some quality method, quality statement. Your flour fineness, your flour standards, your flour exposure declares what sort of flour it is. That's point here. What sort of water it is, what sort of other consumable item. These all declare, and because you eat, you masticate, you digest, and you enjoy that food. You can say, oh, this is very good wheat, very good flour. Like that you say, this is good fun. So it depends upon. There's a quality involved, quality element involved in that. Fineness of that material, fineness of flour, uniformity in its texture, how it can be blended, and how chapatis of flour can be produced out of that. What sort of vegetables these are, how big size I can flake them, I can cook them, I can make, means whatever way you can consider. Ultimately, quality lies somewhere else, and every activity as such involves certain method which we have to produce. If we know what we have to do, method is not going to teach you. I'm not saying that. You are going to make method based on your knowledge. Your knowledge means, it doesn't mean you have some knowledge and everybody has same knowledge. It's not never equal like that. But because your knowledge is important for that activity. That's the point I'm making. Whichever activity you are going to do, this method can communicate that activity to someone else, and that is sole purpose of method. Method is not research, it's just whatever you know, you convert it into writing, reduce it to writing, you can say, rather than reduce it to writing, or demonstration, you can say, to explain to people what you know that. And when that is reduced to writing or statement or to some video, whatever you can say, that can be understood by someone who views that or reads that paper, your method. So method is, you can say, a kind of production of reproduction of your thoughts, your coordination within your mind, and that communication track takes you to that method statement. And that method statement is, of course, modifiable. It can be amended, it can be improved further, and that's why I stress method statements. Quality methods, method and quality, you can say, the statements, which is very much required. Statements are required and method statements are required, both are required. Statements, when it's not written or spoken or demonstrable, it's only statement. And statements, when it's given some formality, it's given some backing or some writing, it's called method statement or procedures, whatever you can say. I'm just trying to explain to you what's my approach, and I take this time just because people do not really take interest in that, and it's very important that interest must be there. And if there's no interest, you cannot produce buildings, you cannot produce sites, you cannot produce anything. That's also true. So I think you can understand by this explanation what I intend to say about methods for buildings, for plants, and for whatever construction preparations you do, whatever you do. Method statement is very important. Quality is very important. If you do not want quality, I think nobody can. We cannot understand meaning what you want to say. That quality is a very important part of life, and I again project on that. So my dear friends, you may feel bored, of course. Discussion, this talk is very relevant to quality, but quality doesn't mean that you enjoy that discussion. Maybe you feel drowsy when I talk, you feel sleepy. You have right to feel sleepy because this is very boring, and work is always boring. Remember, there are two ways. Work is boring. Every common person can think of work is boring. It's too boring. I'm tired. I am stressed by this work. I do 12 to 14 hours a day or 16 hours a day, and I feel very tired, so it's very boring work. Yes, for that soul, for that person, it's boring, but same work, who does understand value of that, who does what I am doing, how it can improve lives of others, or how it can improve my knowledge, my power of communication, for that person, same boring work turns into opportunity, turns into value, and that person can understand reality of that. What value does it make for him? What value does it transfer to that person? And that person enjoys that boring work into intellectual work. That boring work, when it was with less intellectual person, it goes to intellectual person. Same work becomes quality work, which is, of course, you can say that this is really wonderful that my work has been so accepted by accepted people. If you see something, good video, people are excited, you say it's gone viral, you will find thousands and thousands of views on that. But I say there's a video which is very boring, like I'm making. I always make boring videos because I'm not celebrity, and my subjects, my talks are not in that level. People will be excited. I'm not exciting anybody. I'm just giving my experience, which is very boring, of course. My experience is really boring one because I have my profession is boring, and I'm not social, and I'm not like who gives poetries or some other type of entertainment programs. I just give something very serious for your life. And when you are serious in your life, your thoughts, your work of mind, you enjoy that. Serious people enjoy that, and those who read those writings seriously, they also enjoy it. But 95% people, I should say not even 95% people, say more than that, are not worth, enjoy that seriousness. For them, seriousness is something else, where your material comfort, your social comfort, you have physical intimacy and enjoy life. For them, seriousness is no meaning, but they want to enjoy everything in terms of materials and not in terms of minds. And when you start enjoying mind, I believe, I can assure that there is no other happiness more than that. You cannot find something else as happy as you enjoy your state of seriousness. I think that point is very difficult to understand by everybody. When you are serious and your mind is happy, there is no other happiness in your life you require. Means you have reached happiness in seriousness. Happiness in seriousness is great wonder, is, I can say, a kind of self-goal, I should say. If I think and feel happy, if I think very serious matters and feel happy, that means you are going to solve problem, and you are happy because that solution you have brought in or you achieved in. It's because of that solution you are happy. And you are happy. If you are used to be happy based on entertainment programs, then seriousness is very nothing for you. It values nothing for you, values zero for you. And you want to enjoy those loose comfort, temporary comforts. When you enjoy, you go to cinema and you watch film for 2 hours and 2.5 hours, 3 hours. You feel immersed in that for a couple of hours. 2 hours you are dreamed in, you are with cinema where it was showing, you are there. Virtually you are there, but not reality. But once the film is off and you come out of that, now it's only memory. You don't feel that very much. Oh, okay, I enjoyed that. That's it, and you forget that after a few hours. That's what means. If it was some technique, something you knew, you could remember that for years together. What I was shown to me. That's difference in quality system and mind. So for engineers, I would say, thinking is your job. Like scientists and engineers are on same pillar, same column. Engineer's job is really very time consuming. Forget calculations on software. You need to calculate in your mind. As we used to do in the past, there was no computers. People are efficient that time also. Very, very efficient. More efficient. Today you are efficient because of softwares. Not based on your own capacity. You are supported by some tools, computers, but that's not your quality. It's quality of computer is helping you. So your support may be quality support because you are getting to someone, but data entry is your own. You can make mistakes there. That's what I find. Till yesterday I was trying to tell method statements about some new sites or sites preparation. Now it's time that we have to go back to that one and we have to see what it was. There are building plants as well. And building plants means what we have to think about that. I may say we have to think a lot on that. I actually am not sure about what chapter just got in this, but it's something very, very solid for you to go through, and we'll see how it works. It's also very great in this that we have many statements, and these statements are very, I think it is whatever it is. Seawater basin and all that. Means it's very interesting method statements. We have to see. This long one gradually we go on that. That's our requirement. Just trying to browse to show you what this could be. Course, moving, and you can say flooring, etc. All which will take time to reach. It, of course, it's important noting important contents for professionals and reality of life placement. All these are our supports. I'm not saying that this methods will equip you with something, but this shall provide you some professional input that you can use for your own output. It's just kind of guideline that is being given for your for your support only, nothing else. And that's what I say. You have to understand that point. So I go back to home in this, and this building plans, which you can say something, then we come back to our own, that was site preparation. That too, as I can say, we talked of site preparations yesterday, talked of that one in a detailed logic. As I defined site preparation, it's something to keep ready for something else to work upon this. You got my point. You are having something, you keep it ready by your own ways so that others can work on this. That is site preparation. When you take over some site, small or big, whatever, particularly for big projects, you can say, it's undulated. It is, there is no level. There may be trees, or there may be woods, or there may be dirt. There may be, you can't even see. It can be that state, and or it may be desert, depending on location, or it may be mountain, where you have to start work. You can't start work until this area or this plot or the site is worth clear. So you can say conversion of that naturally existing or physically existing terrain of your site into a uniform terrain on which you can start working, means undulations or non-uniform terrain, or you can say natural terrain, to a terrain you want to deliver. This difference means you want to deliver something on someone, so you have to convert that non-uniform undulated area into a practical area, into a uniform area where you can start your work of project. That is called preparation. And we call it site preparation because it is for the site. We are not doing whole area, we are doing site area and maybe little surrounding area preparations, because surrounding area is free from encumbrances, and we are allowed to work in that. Those that you can say, there may be many activities linked to that portion, that transfer from natural existence to existence of new one, which can allow me to do survey of that area, investigation of that area, maybe geotechnical investigation or geographical investigation or soil investigation, and in that way to keep that area intact, duly fenced, secured and understood according to drawings, and according to shop drawings or whatever, or what can we do in that area to those services which exist running. All those, whether these come are called the greenfield or brownfield projects, but if services do exist there, we have to discover, we have to find those services on drawings, because you can't remember numbers of everything. Those services which are required to be diverted, or maybe these are redundant, dead, it only can be decided by that authority which takes care of such plants, facilities, and nobody else has right to interfere with that. Once you try that, do, meanwhile your people can, your dependents, your survivors can lead somewhere else. This is a very important point. That's called preparation. So site preparation is that means you have to make that location where your project is to be sited clear in all terms. It must be quite ready. It may be a very deep one, or it may be very deep one. Generally, deep one are there, which require complete both, whether deep one or high one, which require complete survey for records. All surveys are to be done on that contour survey, services survey, or whatever it is. We may call it, we can record that. Then we have to, that may be called record of surveys, ROS we generally call record of surveys. And then based on those records, which are in full form, full abbreviation forms, based on those you can find out what are facts, what is a survey report, all important detailed report. That report tells us what we have to do. It's not all easy to understand at once. Site preparation, as name suggests, we have to prepare the site. We have to prepare the site. This is common equivalence of that term. You are going to prepare that site for doing further work on that according to your designs, or you can say if you are a contractor, according to contract. We'll come to contracts, but I'm not going down. We are just talking of techniques. There may be undulations, there may be anything. You have to work upon that. And as I said in my last, it varies from project to project, site to site. It may be your site is in desert, not in near sea, or maybe near sea, or maybe in mountains. Everywhere you find different problems, different activities, different ways. Your site may be waterlogged, your site may be no water, means no one way. That's what site preparation is. Very significant item, and this item is very big, you can say. As you said yesterday, site preparation artwork. We just made a topic of this, and says the purpose of this statement is to define sequence of activities for site preparation, works related to company petrochemical projects. We call company or operator is in charge of this facility, whatever facility it is. Then extent of these activities are defined upon attached site plan, which is not included in our survey. It can be whatever now. And reference documents, of course, reference documents must be there, which are specifications for site preparation. There must be something. And excavation also with backfill for underground installations. You may be calling underground installations, and that could be fill or grading and paving, testing laboratory, geotechnical investigation, etc. And titles, etc. we take all on. Since safety is our first requirement on every project, every act, safety again means saying safety, health and environment plus ergonomics relevance. We can't just move blindly. Safety can't be postponed. Safety can't be discarded. If safety is discarded, you will be discarded. When there was no consideration of safety, in those times also, safety was taken care of. Though without name of safety, it was taken care of. Now it's a full-fledged world of safety, and we say safety comes, safety first. Means first requirement is that people have to be safe. Everyone has to be safe before starting some job. That's safety. Doesn't mean that its value stop. Its implication is first one. When you are there, you should be safe. When your supports are there, your executives are there, your people are there, they should be safe. Everybody should be safe, should be healthy, and should be enjoying good environment. To an extent it is feasible to produce good environment. And you should not waste your energy unnecessarily. So there is a science or there's a technique that's called ergonomics also. Means whatever energy you spend on some activity, that must be used. It should not be wasted. That's ergonomics. How best you can do without harming someone else, or not harming without abuse of body of someone else. So that research says safety is very important, and for safety means we have to tell them how safe you can be. Safety doesn't mean that you will jump from building. That's not question here. Question is that you are going to first keep yourself safe, and then you should know about tools that you are going to use, whether temporary time or permanent time. It's up to you. But you have to keep yourself safe. You cannot say that I have worked for so many years, but I did not involve myself in any accident. This logical or illogical, whatever you call it, this statement is useless, baseless. When we start safety means we tell everybody how shall you use this tasks. Everybody knows that. Some conventional hero. That is important point. You can say toolbox talk, you can call it. Where you say you are going to use toolbox, how you have to handle it, that's point of interest. How you have to handle it, safe, how you have to keep it safe, how far can you move safe, that's very important point. And that is toolbox talk. Or if you are a little educated, you know how to read, write, think, and there's a start. This is again safety talk. Safety talk, or you can say task analysis, you may say. Task analysis and review. You may call it safety task analysis or some safety talk, risk review, what risks are there, how to review them, how to get rid of them. So this is called start card. Means a card is given to you regarding that activity, and it's defined what risks are there. You have to understand them, read them, and then act accordingly. So it may be toolbox talk, that's also a record. Of course, it's demonstration record, explanation record, and then we have something else also, toolbox talk, that is. The point comes in that you have to calculate your jobs and hazards. What hazard shall you get from that job? That may be different, but at least assessment you can do. And then you should think of, you should compare that OSHA, industrial occupational safety, health hazard, hazard assessment or analysis. Then in this case we say that the current topic is, in this case, excavation has to be carried out in operating authority area. We are going to excavate there, in that area. So therefore all you can say regulatory precautions that are required to be implemented must be strictly adhered to, affect full safety standard. This is what talk says of safety. And there is a concrete, and so concrete is different. And we can say then specifically approved mechanical equipment or third party certified equipment by locating these services shall be used, and that's only way. When say analytically speaking, scientifically speaking, that's only way. And we can say whilst locating say services shall be used. That's fine. Now generally we can say generally where appropriate only manual excavation is done, shall be done. You may say where this point of difference. That manual excavation I'm saying, you ask me, why are you talking of manual excavation? We have got machines and machines work everywhere. I agree. You are right. You think I missed that? No, I didn't tell you that because I don't want you to sleep again. Or breakdown